Oh yeah.
So yeah,
we can back that up a little bit. Yeah. Oh yeah, we live. Let me chill.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, bet. Here we go. So I'm about to share this stream real quick.
Share the stream, Doc.
Yes, sir.
And I can never let another man or woman decide my value. That's a price placed amongst oneself by oneself. And most importantly, realize when it's time for that price to go up. Frows. If I love you, I kill for you, but they don't recognize the value. Put my life on the line for a nigga, he ain't recognize the value. And I ain't I took the charge when I'm stable, they ain't recognize the value. And they gon' love you when you dead, but while you here, they don't recognize your value. And I'ma have to cut her off every time if she don't recognize the value. Little baby wanna be obedient. She said she recognize the value. Just don't disturb a nigga grind. Act like you recognize the value. She said she love a nigga mind. She said she recognize the value. It ain't no price on his life, but they don't recognize the value. I put a price on your life, and they won't come collect the value. And this money don't mean shit. You better recognize the value. I'm down to kill for my respect. You better recognize the value. I held it down on my dolo, but they ain't recognize the value. DA office, I ain't fold though, but they ain't recognize the value. I tried to kill a couple niggas on the way, but they ain't recognize the value. I stayed patient even through mistakes I made, but they ain't recognize the value. Remember being shot, dying on the floor, bleeding, I ain't see my value. I could've got the shooter, murked and went to war, watch it, I ain't see the value. You ain't never lived through it, you would never see the value. You ain't never been ruthless, so you would never see the value. And so you just a number. Remember, I ain't have a value. I always displayed intelligence. They just never seen the value. They told me smoking me was toast, but they ain't recognize the value. You know, it broke my heart the most. They ain't recognize my value. If I love you, I kill for you, but they don't recognize the value. Put my life on the line for a nigga, he ain't recognize the value. And I ain't since I took the charge when I'm stable, but they ain't recognize the value. And they gon' love you when you dead, but while you here, they don't recognize your value. And I'ma have to cut her off every time if she don't recognize the value. Little baby wanna be obedient. She said she recognize the value. Just don't disturb a nigga grind. Act like you recognize the value. She said she love the nigga mind. She said she recognize the value.
I'm not in my professional
Yes, sir.
A little better.
What's going on, y'all? Black Collar King, Crested Wiz. We're back, bro. I'm back with my brother, my counselor, man, my good friend, Lawrence Souffrant, Pastor Lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we're here and we're talking about restoring masculinity, man. But if you haven't seen my first interview with him, he's Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Woo! So we talked about the Haitian Revolution. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I know 3 Haitians, and I guess the saying goes, if you know 3, you're a Haitian by association.
Oh, that's what they say?
Hey, that's what I heard a Haitian say.
So, welcome to the family.
Hey,
welcome.
I appreciate it, man. You know what I'm saying? I love my people. All my people, man. So if y'all don't remember, man, go check that video out, man. It's called The Haitian Revolution with Lawrence Souffrant. It's on my page. And now, bro, we're gonna be talking about his course called Restoring Masculinity, man. And
yes, sir.
And I'm 2 payments in, you know what I'm saying? We're not just talking about it, I'm actually living it, man. He's
Facts.
my real deal counselor. Not just talking about it, man, actually trying to put in the work, man, and it's hard. It's difficult, you know what I'm saying? But I know for me, I want to be a better person, not just for me and my family, but for my people as a whole, man, because we're trying to nation build, you know what I'm saying? It goes bigger than music, even though I've met him through music. So, you know what I'm saying? Music is a big part of my life. That'll never change, you know what I'm saying?
It's a universal language.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm glad that it brings me, you know what I'm saying, to all these different people, man, including you, bro. And it just keeps, and I just keep finding new people, man. Like I just went to Guitar Center Saturday. I think it was like Saturday. Yeah. Because I had a gig with Smooth Fondue, shout out. And I just went there for like 2 hours because I just had time to kill. You know what I'm saying? And I met a musician out in Decatur that just has like a fat studio, like everything up, drums, mics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then he put me in the direction of another keyboardist and stuff like that too. And I was just like, man, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all these different connections, man. So I love music, man. I love what it's been doing, what it's been taking me, man. But it's more than music, man. It's more than music. So before we go a little bit further, man, give the people a little bit of introduction of who you are, just in case they don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. So like you said, my name is Lawrence Souffrant. I'm a pastor / spiritual leader, if you will, very unorthodox. So, you know, pastor just lets you know I believe in the Messiah, but really I believe in all things spiritual. I'm a musician, family man. You know what I mean? Got my course coming up about masculinity, which we're going to get into. But I'm a man of the people. I love the people. I believe in serving the people. And that's what I do. So here I am.
Yes, sir, man. I'm glad you're with me, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes,
for real, man. So before, well, hell, let's get right into it, man.
Yeah.
What what time, what now? Why now? You know what I'm saying? Why now after all these years that men have been being men? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And why after all of this time now that you've been here, you've been seeing everything that you've been seeing, why it's like, okay, look, I need to put a course down.
Yeah.
That is valuable, you know what I'm saying? And that'll actually bring some tangible changes, man. Cause I know you study.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So and for me, man, I'm trying to get on that scholarly level, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause I see just in me asking you questions, calling you just in my day-to-day life when stuff goes wrong, man, I'm just like, dude, hey, how do I do this? Or what's causing this? You know what I'm saying? So what have you seen to make you be like, okay, look, I need to do this now?
Well, I mean, for one, there is a blatant attack on masculinity as a whole. You know, if you pay attention to the media, if you pay attention even to entertainment as a whole, what you're seeing is masculinity specifically from men and black men in particular.
Yes, sir.
Any expression of masculinity is being demonized. It's as if being a man is automatically toxic and wicked and dangerous, even. You know, and when I'm seeing that, I've been seeing it for years, but I haven't said anything primarily because of age. What I've learned is, you know, I've been wise before my years. You know, I've been wise for a long time, right? But what I've learned is certain things can be received if you're too young. They just don't believe that you have the knowledge and insight. And so what I spent my younger years doing is modeling everything that I have learned. And so, you know, I'm still young, right? But married for 13 years, 5 kids, entrepreneur. You know, there are certain statuses, landmarks, if you will, underneath my belt that I think gives me some level of credential. You know what I mean? To say that this is not just book knowledge. Because what we're going to talk about in the course is going to have some book knowledge, but it's going to also deal with the life that we're living in now. You know what I'm saying? That's important. I would have to have lived life to be able to discuss some of the things about life now. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like now is at a point where I can't remain silent anymore. I have to say something. I have to give something. And I think I have enough evidence, you know, under my belt to prove that I'm knowledgeable.
Man, that's what's up, man. Yeah, and hey, man, just, you know, just from my life experience, man, even before, you know what I'm saying? I've just seen you. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you with your wife, with your children. Seen you through the transitions. I've seen you when you've done Herbalife. You know what I'm saying? All of those things, man. So just seeing all of that. And then now being able to be like, hey, look, I actually need you to help me with my life. And then being able to trust you with that. Because I think that's another big thing in the community of why it's looked at a bond as toxic anyway. It's just because we don't have trust. You know what I'm saying? So how big is like trust inside of the manosphere, you know, quote unquote, especially for us. And not trying to use whatever knowledge that we have for like our own gain.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: trust is, and I'm gonna have to break it down, but trust is a feminine state. Trust, and so what a lot of people don't understand is men and women have both masculine and feminine in us, right? Men have masculine and feminine. Society has tried to make the femininity in men a problem when, I mean, in context really determines when it's a problem, when it's not a problem. But men need to know how to trust. Men need to be able to be comfortable with their femininity in order to establish relationship. Because femininity deals with life, deals with relationships. And so when you're seeing men not be engaged in relationship, it's because they have not yet been comfortable in their femininity. But here's the kicker. People assume low masculinity means high femininity, but that's not true. You can be low in your masculinity as a man and still not be in tune with your femininity. And what that does is it puts you in a neutral state, if you will, where you're not even productive to the community.
And not even in that neutral state, it even negates whatever I guess masculinity you think you're exuding upon the world.
Exactly. Because the thing about it is that when you're dealing with masculine and feminine energy, there are levels, degrees. So if we talk music, right? You know, if you go from a half step, and I'm sorry if I lose y'all those who don't know music, right? But just to help it make sense, when you go from a half step, you know, that movement is from one note to another note. But in between those notes, there's still several movements. Several micro movements that gradually get you to that next note. So masculine and feminine, it works that way. You have masculine and feminine, but within that, there's a spectrum in masculinity that could be divided even further into masculine and feminine. Within femininity, they could be divided to masculine and feminine. And so when you're dealing with the spectrum of things, that's how you get the different color. And so we could talk about masculinity, but how is it expressed? How much of it needs to be expressed? All of that. That's where context comes into play. So if I'm raising my son does something wrong, I have to discipline him from my masculine. But I can't discipline him from my masculine like he's an enemy. I still have to have some level of care. And that's where my feminine comes, kind of tailors that a little bit. But if I'm void of femininity, I'm going to deal with him like I dealt with some bum in the streets. And now I'm abusing my child because of my lack of feminine connection. You see what I mean? So it's the combination. People sometimes think it's either or, but really it's so nuanced. You want to be able to control the energy so you can pull from them when it's necessary. So I can transition from my son to the dude in the street and know how to handle him because I've pulled myself there. I've mastered my energy enough to be able to say, I'm ruthless with him, but I'm very careful with him.
That makes total sense, man. Total sense. And y'all can look at his podcast called The Friday Experience. I'm gonna link all of this stuff up because he goes in depth with all of this stuff, man. You know
for free.
For free, man. For free. You know what I'm saying? And it's real good stuff, man. And if you know me, you know I listen to everything, man. So, bro, you can listen and learn and apply these things, bro. And it just doesn't matter because it's about tangible life. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I want to talk about these YouTube personalities a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just for a little bit because I ain't got too much time. But right. You know, I don't know how much you've been, you know, watching like the Dr. Umars and the Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, man.
I respect those brothers.
Yeah. And even like I said, man, I listen to everybody, man. And I don't know if people know, I posted a book that I bought called "Man, Heal Thyself: Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self-Mastery" by Supernova Salam. And Supernova Salam is Queen Afua's son. And my queen has Sacred Woman. And then we have the Heal Thyself by Queen Afua. So, you know, we got a whole lot of work to do. And Supernova Salam, had an interview one time and he was talking about how Kevin and Umar like are both right in the sense of to where, you know what I'm saying, we need to, going back to what you were saying, know how to deal with our sons differently than we deal, you know what I'm saying, with the bum on the street.
Exactly.
So with that being said, how do we deal with because what I've been seeing is that it's like the ladies aren't taking accountability. The ladies aren't taking accountability. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, and the thing is, because we talk about it, because you talk about this a lot too. Sometimes you'll touch on it, how like colonialism, even with Christianity, the Bible kind of skews things. So how far? Because here's what I've been seeing from what I've been looking at. There are people in the quote unquote conscious community that are trying to be balanced, because pretty much that's their whole stanza is balance. You know what I'm saying? In the universe, you know, all things balance, right? And then you got you know, the Kevin Samuels that are just like, hey, bro, I know I'm black. I was raised by a single mother. Yeah, racism exists. Whatever, compete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you merge that to where, because it just seems like the drama and the responses of no results are like prominent. You know what I'm saying? And then these people say they do have results, but very rarely, and I may be wrong, I may have not seen the videos, but I don't see too many videos where they're actually focused on the actual testimonials that they say that they're getting on both sides. on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So how do we try to actually like merge that gap to tell people like, hey, look, it's balanced. Yeah. These women aren't taking accountability, but these men aren't either. Because even Samuels has where he has a men's week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I can even relate to some of the stuff because he called, because one of the guys called in and was like, man, he's a musician and an Uber driver. Not an Uber driver, but I do delivery and I'm a musician. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I can see the stuff and I can learn from it and, swaddle the baby and throw out the bathwater.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But how do we get the masses to be able to do that? Because they seem either so, you know what I'm saying? Left or right.
Well, I mean, the first thing that we need to understand is the media is designed to divide us. And so the divisions that we're seeing in our community is not really from our community because as a community, we're rarely having conversations like this. Most of it is sound bites and clips, and then it's misinterpretations because you'll hear a clip here and miss completely what he was talking about. And then you take that clip out of context and create a narrative that's not true.
Yes, sir.
And that happens to me too, because, I push the envelope on a lot of things. And I'll tell people, listen to the whole thing before you make a judgment because you don't even know where I'm going. You don't know how I'm going to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? And so when we're dealing with the conscious community and then and then we'll call Kevin Samuels kind of like the practical, for lack of a better term. Because the thing about consciousness is simply awareness.
Yeah.
One of my issues with the conscious community is they're aware of the problems, but they're not completely in tune with the solutions.
Yeah, man.
And I know James Baldwin say, to be a conscious black man is to be in a perpetual state of anger.
Yeah, right.
I refuse to be in a perpetual state of anger. I don't believe that I am my best self when I'm angry. Anger is a motivator to do something, but then I have to use wisdom to get it done. You see what I'm saying? So I refuse to be in a perpetual state of anger. And that's me. There's no shot to James. He's an OG,
most definitely.
Mr. Baldwin. I would never claim, to be better than my elders in that regard. But it's just saying what I've realized is this anger, and anger being a secondary emotion, which a lot of people don't know. Anger is a secondary emotion. Before anger, there's slight other emotions that exist, like disappointment, like hurt, sadness, fear. I'm afraid, and that fear gets masked as anger. Anger is a secondary emotion, and so when you're in a perpetual state of anger, you're not even fully in tune with yourself to know why you're angry. If we're honest, a lot of the anger that we feel as black people comes from feeling powerless. It's a matter of I feel vulnerable and powerless. I see a problem. I don't feel like I have the power to change what the issue is. And the truth is, this is where the Kevin Samuels comes into that balance, because there's a point where you can be angry at the system, or there's a point where you can use the system to correct your situation. And if we did a historical analysis, every community in this country, oppressed or non-oppressed, they found ways to use the system to uplift themselves, at least in a better position of the system. And so we're dealing with black people. Black people, our disadvantage is we don't have a connection to anywhere outside of this country. We're connected to the U.S. And when I say black, I'm talking about those who don't know where they came from, but you're black, you're here. You came from somewhere, but you're here now. Somebody in your family was enslaved, or they came here free and they kidnapped your peoples. We got a history. We could go on and on. Now, I mean, you see the shirt I'm wearing, right? All ourselves. We go on and on. But without having that political connection to a country outside of here, there's no one who can go to war for us. There's no ambassadors who can vouch for us. And so we lose some of that leverage. But we have so much power that we just refuse to utilize to better ourselves because they convince us that we can't. It's just like in religion. Most people are Christian because they was taught to be. They never actually spent the time to determine if they believe in the Messiah, if they even believe in the Most High. They were taught to be Christian, and so they run with it. But those of us who've had certain experiences, in the name of Jesus, in the name of the Most High, our movements are different because it's not something that was taught to us. It's our own experience. You see what I'm saying? And so when it comes to this system, they taught us that we have no power. But if we look at the numbers, if we look at the marketing, there's a reason why they market to black people. Why would they market to a people that they couldn't get rich off of? If they can get rich off of us, then we can get rich off of ourselves. It's just simple. All it is a redirection of energy and a intentionality to better ourselves. So before I buy anything, before I do anything, asking myself, is there a way I could get this done within my community first? But my community, see, if we talk about the Black community, and I'm about to say something,
yes, sir.
The Black community actually doesn't exist. The Black community is an ideal, but we haven't yet fully solidified what it is. What does it mean to be Black? What does it mean to have a Black community? These are conversations we go back and forth with it. Is it my struggle that makes me Black? Right. So then if someone is not of African descent, could they be Black with a similar struggle? Right. You know, is it being of African descent and the struggle? So if someone rises above the struggle, are they no longer Black? Like, well, let's really define first what it means to be Black. And then who are our leaders? Who's responsible for maintaining that Blackness? Because what's happening is everything we create gets stolen. We could go down the list, bro. Everything we create gets stolen. They profit off of our creativity. When are we going to solidify that this is ours? And how are we going to profit off of our own creativity? There's a strike in TikTok right now, right? Black creators aren't dancing TikTok. Okay. Black creators should have never been on TikTok
in the first place.
TikTok was not made for us.
Exactly.
So when they exploit us, we get all mad. What, you thought they created this to uplift us? Right. Come on. So this is where the consciousness is important to realize. I shouldn't expect TikTok, a Chinese app, to be in favor of Black creativity. My expectation should have never been there. But the Kevin Samuels in me should be figuring out a way to create a social network that works for Black people, that will give Black people their due. And because that work is so strenuous, we settle. Look, we on YouTube right now. No offense to YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Right? YouTube ain't about the uplifting of Black people. No. You know what I mean? But we're going to use YouTube and hopefully we will gather ourselves enough where we can create another type of YouTube that's for Black people. Yes, sir. Where they can't shut us down. Yes, sir. Farrakhan getting banned from IG is ridiculous. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. But IG was not created for the uplift. You see the pattern that I'm going. And so before I can talk about, you know, what we should do as a Black community, should you be conscious, should you be Kevin Samuel? Really, we got to figure out what is the Black community. And before I figure that out, I need to figure out who am I as a man? Who am I? Who do I want to be as a man? And this is where it gets complicated because there's no right answers. And there's no wrong answers. The question is who you declare yourself to be. Are you moving in alignment with that declaration? And that's where things get different. So if you're talking about nation building, if you call yourself a nation builder, right, and you're trying to build up the Black nation, then there's a way that you need to move. And there's people like Umar Johnson who will help you move in that nation building. But if you're about, I want to be powerful, I just want status, Kevin Samuels is kind of your guy. Right? And you might merge with both of them. You might not resonate with any of them. The point is who you identify yourself to be, which requires deep self-awareness, deep meditation within yourself, deep connection between you and the cosmic energies that formed you. Yes, sir. Because I don't care what you believe in, you're not self-made. At least not in the form that you are. If you're self-made, it's a former self or a higher self that made you. You still need to be in tune with that to fully understand why you're even here. So anyone who, you know, and I'm not a Mason, but the Freemasons used to say, like, first off, you couldn't be a Mason if you didn't believe in a higher power. Right? The Bible says that anyone who says there is no God is a fool. Right? And so no matter how you slice it, spirituality is an intricate part in terms of you knowing who you are, because you've came from something far greater than you. And all of us, if we ever spend time quiet, we feel that greatness and we fear our own greatness. And we're in a society that's trying to convince us that we're not great. And so there is this conflict about the greatness I feel and the greatness they say I don't have, and how I'm not proving them wrong, but I'm not proving myself right. I'm not manifesting my greatness, just call them liars. But what they're saying doesn't resonate with me. It's a conflict. And so that connection to the higher self, the greater one, whichever term, it helps root you, remind you that I'm made up of the same cosmic energy that's keeping the sun burning. Right. That's my material.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that's great. If I could call the sun great, if I call the moon great, then how can I call myself less than when I'm created from that same material?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Bro. That's powerful, bro. That is powerful. Man, okay. So what can people expect, you know what I'm saying, when they dive into this restoring masculinity class?
Well,
man? Yes, sir.
The first thing that I hope they get is a clear understanding of what masculine and feminine energy is.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into detail for that very reason.
Yes, sir.
Got a course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Buy it.
Exactly. But I think that's important, because when you know what it is, then you will be able to consciously choose which energy will best serve you.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is learning how to channel those energies, learning how to build those energies, because that's the next step.
Cool.
There is, when it comes to energy, there's free energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. We're recycling energy.
Yep.
We're recycling energy. And if there is something pumping energy, which I think that's really what the Most High does, is just constantly pumps more energy. It's something that's out of our control. All we could do is use what's available. But there's so much available. You know what I mean? Like, we don't even need, we can't even quantify how much energy is actually available to us. And so now it's just a matter of channeling it. And I think that's the hardest part, is convincing people that you can. But you can. So I'll share this with you, right? This should be for the course, but I'll share this with you. The fact that we all eat. When we get tired and we eat, and then we're not tired anymore. We just gained energy. But that was a cycle. That food came from somewhere, that came from somewhere, that came from somewhere. And it just kept recycling over and over again. The circle of life, right? It just keeps on. And so we know energy recycles. We know that we can gain energy. You know what I mean? If you're running, and then you ever worked out, and then you hopped in your car, and then your windows fog up. That's coming from you. That's energy seeping out of you that you built up through your workout. Because something in motion stays in motion until an outside force stops it. As it's in motion, energy is being used, but energy is also being received to be burned. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Man. Heat being a byproduct of energy, and energy itself. So it gets, I'm going to go that deep in the course, but I will help people learn how to channel that energy. And for men in particular, I'm helping men learn how to deal with their egos. There's a whole lesson just on that alone, because that's one of our problems. When you understand that ego is a masculine expression of feminine energy, it starts to make sense. When we break down what masculine and feminine energy is, you'll understand how the ego is a masculine expression of feminine energy. But we have to break that down for full. But I just dropped a gem.
Yeah. You did.
You know what I mean?
You definitely did, man. You definitely
dropped the gem for the free 9.
Yeah.
But just to show, this course is going to be in depth.
Yep.
It's going to be very in depth. So those are some of the and the Q&A, I think, is really where you get your value. The fact that I'm offering a Q&A afterwards, so you can ask specific questions if something doesn't make sense. And I'm also, so your listeners can know, but also for you to know, I'm also offering a consultation that will come
with it.
Yeah. Bet. So that way, if there's a question you don't want to ask to the class, you my guys, you can reach me anyway. But, for the other brothers, if there's a question you don't want to ask for the class, it's a free consultation that will come with it. We can discuss some stuff. You feel me?
Yeah. So it's open forum and confidential.
Yes, bro.
Options, man.
For the people.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, because you obviously know we need it, man. I know I need it. And then what I see, you know what I'm saying, out in the world, man, it's like, we all need it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially just, you know what I'm saying, just for us, man, because, our people aren't the only oppressed, you know what I'm saying, in the world. You can look at Venezuela, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and folks in Mexico, and then there's people in I want to say it's Taiwan that do the dyes for shirts and stuff, like the shirt I'm wearing. You know what I'm saying, that pollutes the water and stuff like that, man. So it's
there's a lot happening in Ghana. I don't know if you know about there's a lot of political issues in Ghana, but one of the rivers in Ghana is completely polluted because of the illegal mining happening in Ghana. Water that natives still depend on, completely polluted, and these natives are still drinking the polluted water still, because what other options? It's crazy.
Man, but with all of that, man, so how can we as a people, man, just like really like because these conversations like this aren't popular.
Yeah, no, they're not.
So, you know, and things like this get quote unquote shadow banned and stuff like that, man. So
that's a real thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so how do we because this has always been my question for like solutions is how do we make solutions like palatable?
Okay.
Because like we so used to the dysfunction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you'll get inside of your ego if it's not checked.
Yep.
If someone's really telling you about yourself.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's only like two type of people. They'll either go off or they'll shut down.
Yep.
And then either way you're stagnant because you're not actually doing something with that problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how do we make the solution like, you know, palatable? How do we make it look fun?
Well, I mean, to make it look fun, that's going to be difficult. But I will say we cannot negate the power of community.
Yeah.
And so I think the first thing that needs to happen is those who resonate with this conversation need to share.
Yep.
This type of content.
Yes, sir.
If they're not sharing it, then the shadow ban will work.
Yeah.
But if the people are sharing it, consistently sharing it, then they can't really stop that outside of actually banning it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Then we can say, all right, we see what's going on, right? But the second thing is not just to share, but to speak. Because you can share it. You don't know if they watched it or not. You just shared it with them.
Right.
But have a conversation about the content. Because what happens is let's use just organic community, right? I'm from Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm from Jersey. I grew up in Jersey in the 90s, right? So Jersey, you know, my part of Jersey from North Jersey, we're influenced by New York. So some things translate, but others don't, right?
Yeah.
But I could say like in my time, fitteds, Timbs, white tees, right? That was the thing.
Yeah.
Now there was no official documentation sent out. There was no panel discussion saying, hey, if you from Jersey, you need to wear white tees and Timbs. It was through the power of community that we all gravitated towards a harmonious expression. And it just happened. Then when white tees got out of style, there wasn't same thing. Yes. There wasn't no big council. I think sometimes we make things too complicated.
Yeah.
Like when like-minded people get together, they start to shape each other, and then those who join the group. So my pastoring style, right? People come to me because I look fun.
Yeah,
playing spades. We out here, you know what I mean? We having a good time. Yeah. It ain't, you know. And so, but through that, we're able to have life-changing conversation that you probably didn't even come for. You probably just came for the food and whatever. But because of the gift God put on me, eventually I'm gonna touch your life in some way.
Yes, sir.
And if you really want change, we can build from that point, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
So I think that's really where it comes from. And we come together as a community and we have these real conversations, but we still express love. We still dance. We still sing. You know, we still make jokes, but we're intentional about having conversation. So and what I mean by intentional is just like how my mind, I hope I don't lose anybody, but my mind is always vibrating on a level that's to help people. I'm consistently in that state of mind. Go to the gas station. It don't matter where I go. And because of that vibration, I attract people who need help. But I attract people who can actually use my help. I don't just attract random help, but I'm always attracting someone who can use my help. Now, whether they use it or not, that's their choice. But they come and I'm able to touch them in some shape, form, or fashion. But I'm intentional about the vibrations I'm sending out. Does that make sense? I set that in the morning. It's something that I set because when we're dealing with energy, there's so much coming at you to try to have you vibrate on whatever level they intend for you. You have to override that. You have to be intentional to override that so that you can attract what needs to be attracted. You can touch what needs to be touched. And so it requires a disconnect from standard media. Like I don't watch TV. I haven't seen a commercial in I don't know how long. I don't even watch the ads on YouTube, right? But I'm rarely on YouTube. You know what I mean? And I love YouTube. And I use YouTube. But I'm not over consumed because they're giving me this for free not to help me, but to program me through their ads.
Yeah.
If you see an ad enough times, you're gonna get interested in it.
Yep.
Right? Social media with the sponsorships. There's a point where you have to disconnect from that stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's part of the intention. When you realize they're using this to program my mind, I have to be intentional to limit, if not completely refrain from those things that's gonna get me out of balance. So we need all of that as a community. If we're gonna make it fun, well, let's not have them tell us what fun is.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, when, like, and no offense to the ladies, but when it's their birthday, social media taught them how to act. Birthday behavior is a certain type of behavior. That was programmed. Most of them probably wouldn't even be doing what they're doing had it not been programmed in them. Like, when my birthday come, I gotta do this, that. If we don't disconnect from that program, we're gonna live by the program. So we gotta find ways out, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, I appreciate this, man. Yo, this has been Black Collar King, Crested Wiz, bro. I'm here with my good brother, Souffrant. Brother, tell them where they can find you.
Man, y'all can find me on IG, Lawrence Souffrant. You can find me on Twitter, Lawrence Souffrant. Souffrant on Twitter because my name's long. You can find me on Facebook, Lawrence Souffrant. Now, don't just send me a friend request on Facebook because if I don't know you, I'm not gonna, request. Hit me with a DM. Let me know how you know me, and then maybe I'll add you as a friend. But yeah, man, YouTube. Check out Pastor Lawrence Souffrant on YouTube, and you'll get a lot of the fight experience stuff and some other stuff that I'm doing. But yeah, I'm everywhere.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Yo, man, once again, this is Black Collar King, Crested Wiz, bro. You can follow me at Black Collar King on Instagram, BLACKCOLLAR King. On Facebook, MICHAELATHEY. Hit the Cash Apps up. Hashtag BLKCLRCLLR45. I'll have all of these links for the Restore Masculinity class, this song by Pharaoh Otten, and his YouTube and everything else.
And my podcast.
Yep.
On Spotify,
Apple,
on Google, Apple.
All of them, man. So, hey, bro, what we're doing, we're not doing this just for us, man. We're doing it for the people, man. So y'all gonna tap in because this stuff is we actually bring solutions. That's what I'm about. I'm not just doing this YouTube thing because I got a mic and it sounds good or whatever. No, bro, I'm trying to get free. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. Black Collar King, Crested Wiz, we out.
I tried to put a couple niggas on the way, but they ain't recognize the value. I stayed patiently with the mistakes I made, but they ain't recognize the value. I remember being shot, dying on the floor.
Yes, sir.